All right. This is another addendum, and I'm going to elaborate real quickly with a summary of another USA use of oil to start a war, and that was the Pearl Harbor attack. Right? Now, liars will attack because I cannot present the full facts. This is just a bare bones summary. Right? I have taught the full facts at least 50 times in my classes, in online lectures, over and over and over again. But the dumbass masses retain nothing. Nothing in their heads. I swear, zero facts retained. I presented all the documents, but the masses remembered nothing. Zero. Squat. Zilch. Alright? So, I know this is going to be attacked. Oh, you have no facts for that. I cannot present them all. It takes way too long. And what good is it going to do? You're not going to remember anything anyways. So, I'll run through this is just a bare bones summary. I'll just run through it. I'll start with a conclusion, and I know all the idiot retards are going to say, unbelievable, conspiracy theory, that can't be true. You know none of the facts. So the FDR administration not only knew the attack was coming, I mean, they knew, you'll see they absolutely knew the attack was coming. No doubt about it. They, in fact, maneuvered Japan into attacking. And then, when they knew the attack was on, they opened the door for a successful attack. That sounds crazy. I know it does. Let's go through the facts. And I can't show you all the documents again. All right. So, first thing is, the USA knew Japan was desperate to avoid war. Not what historians say, oh, they wanted war. Now, in the Pearl Harbor Papers, it's a set of 39 volumes, like a big encyclopedia set of books, filled with facts from 8 investigations on the Pearl Harbor attack. All right. I think it's volume 12 or maybe it's 13. One of the volumes has all the Japanese messages, intercepted messages. And they're all packed together back to back. All right. It's about 270 pages or so of messages. Well, guess what? I read every single damn one of them. I do my work thoroughly. I read every damn one message. And there's 32 messages in which the Japanese are desperate to avoid war with USA. I mean, USA is the biggest industrial power in the world. Going back to the turn of the 20th century, right? 1900, USA is the biggest industrial power in the world. 1941, we're bigger. Who wants to fight that? Military power is based upon industrial power. Who's stupid enough to fight that? They were desperate to avoid that. There is zero messages where they say, oh, yeah, we want to fight America. Are you kidding? Zero. 32 messages are desperate not to fight us. And we're fighting them already. USA and Great Britain were both fighting a proxy war against Japan by supplying weapons and other war materials to the Chinese. Right? Now, if we're fighting a war against them and they're not fighting a war against us, well, that proves we want war against Japan. So we're already fighting a war through China against Japan. Right? Now, the key means of getting the war manufactured in the Pearl Harbor attack was cutting off oil to Japan. right? And the USA knew cutting off oil will cause war 11 different ways, right? Now, I showed you the quote from Gru's diary. Ambassador Gru, a U.S. ambassador to Japan, October 1939, flew back to Washington, had 2 meetings with FDR. He says in his diary, in both of my meetings, I emphasize that if we go down the road of sanctions and if we cut off oil to Japan, and if they feel their strategic security is at risk, they will go down and take the Dutch East Indies. And FDR responded, well, we can jump them on the way. Right? So he knows that if they cut off oil, Japan's going to have to take the Dutch East Indies. And that's going to involve us in war with that's going to involve us in war with Japan. So, multiple U.S. threats to cut off oil in May. So in early May, it was like May 3rd, I believe, and then May 26th, it was reported in the papers that U.S. Threatened to cut off oil to Japan. And it was reported in the papers, things like Japan studying the cutoff, right? And then on May 31st, reported in the New York Times, Japan warned that if oil's cut off to them, there will be war. Not there might be, there will be war. Japan warned that. Now, FDR was silent to the threat. Didn't say a word. Then on June 23rd, Secretary of Interior Ickes wrote a letter to FDR, and I showed you direct quotes from this letter, right? I showed you all these documents. Now you're going to say, that don't be fact, because me no know that. So it's not true, because me know. Well, you don't know anything. Nothing's true, because you know nothing. And then you believe whatever you want to believe. Whatever social reality helps you believe. God. So frustrating. Great White Wall. Talking to a Great White Wall. I swear that's what it is. Barnaby the Scrivener. June 23rd, Ickes says, hey, he tells Roosevelt, now we know our way of getting into this war. It's through cutting off oil to Japan. And then he says this, which will not only make it possible, but easy to get into this war in an effective way. That's almost a word-for-word quote. Easy to get into this war in an effective way if we cut off oil. So that shows what? They want to get into the war, and they knew that they cut off oil to Japan. It's going to get them war. And then Admiral Turner, who is Chief of War Plans. How many times have I taught you that? I swear, it's at least 50 times. Admiral Turner, Chief of War Plans. He's tasked to do a study on what will happen if we cut off oil to Japan. Chief of War Plans is the #1 strategic analysis for the Navy. That is strategic analysis right there, war plans. He's tasked to do what's going to happen if we cut off oil. He reports there will be war. He reports Japan's going to take southern Indochina, the whole of Indochina. It's going to take the Philippines. It's going to take Malaysia, and then it's going to take the Dutch East Indies to get the oil. That's where the only accessible oil for Japan is. Dutch East Indies. They're not going to go to the Persian Gulf. They're not going to take Texas. All right. All right. And he says, you take the Philippines, that means war with the USA. That Philippines was U.S. territory. That was our possession back then. July 18th, FDR statement. What did he say? I forgot the statement, the Morgenthau. It was basically like Icky's, as I recall. You know, if we cut off oil, we'll force Japan to war. Right? I wish I reviewed this. All right. Now, there are 53 messages in which Japan is panicked over oil. They're desperate for oil. These are messages that we intercepted. We are reading all these messages. There's 18 messages intercepted where Japan fears war with USA. Well, 18 messages saying, oh, damn, we may have to go to war with USA and cut off oil. Japan knows it, and they're desperate. There's 32 messages they're desperate not to go to war. I read you these messages. I read you samples of these messages. How they're pleading with their ambassadors. Please, do everything possible. Right? Right? They're pleading them. Do something. We don't want war. But what is Japan going to do without oil? They'll be okay. No, they're going to die. It's lights out. Game over. Lay down and die. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to go get oil. God. No, they'll be okay. They didn't have to do that. July 25th. U.S., UK, Dutch, all cut off all at the same time. Oh, gee, what a coincidence. My ass, that's a coincidence. That's coordinated. All sources of Japanese all cut off. Same day. And then there are 14 panic attacks, setting November 25th as a deadline to get successful negotiations to restore oil. 14 messages. I think I said 10 above. It's 14 of them. I showed you every damn one of them. Oh, I don't remember that. You don't show me that. Shut up. November 25th is the deadline. Keep that in mind. November 25th. November 25th. November 25th. Then on November 10th, the Japanese straight up told FDR, right? Hey, we don't get oil, right? We got to go get it, and I know that's going to mean war. Same thing with Hull. Straight up told, they warned that already on May 31st. So now they tell them directly, Hull, FDR and Hull, Secretary of State. It's oil or war. And then there's an intercepted November 14th message that says, if negotiations for oil fail, we will attack U.S. and UK forces in Asia. All right? No doubt about it. We know cutting off oil is going to cause war. I mean, all these ways, you gotta be brain dead retarded. Alright. Testimony of Admiral Stark and Admiral Richardson. Admiral Stark was a top Navy officer, Chief of Naval Operations. Admiral Richardson was a top naval officer at sea, Admiral of the Fleet. Admiral Richardson met with FDR 3 times, and he repeatedly said FDR wants war. He's trying to maneuver Japan into making a mistake. He said he's willing to have, FDR's willing to have a U.S. Navy ship sacrificed to start this war. Admiral Stark and Admiral Richardson said FDR plans to sacrifice U.S. ships with a blockade and then leak leak it to the press that these ships are going out on a secret mission to provoke Japan into attacking them. Right? Admiral Stark wrote a letter that's in the Pearl Harbor papers. I showed you that damn letter. He says, basically, as per our discussion, I understand you are willing to sacrifice one or two of our cruisers. There's one or two out there ready, and they're going to send 6 more out there, but not 5 or 6. Frankly, I breathed a great sigh of relief. I showed you that letter. Now, I can't show you it again. I don't have time. And what good's it going to do? You're not going to remember jack anyways. And then you can say, there's no facts. God. I'm talking to a blank white wall. Nothing will be retained. And then there's an October 7th plan to provoke Japan into attacking U.S. ships or attacking the U.S. forces. It has 8 action items to induce Japan to attack. Written by Commander McCullough, later captain, naval intelligence officer. And then the USA did 7 of the 8 items. In 2 days, FDR is doing item number 1. And then there is an intelligence warning. Japan is planning to attack Pearl Harbor. This warning was given in about January 27th, I believe. January 27th of 1941. That's what? 11 months before Pearl Harbor. Right? And then 4 days later, January 31st, a message goes out from McCullough, the intelligence officer who wrote the plan to try to get Japan to attack us. He writes to all naval bases in the Pacific, disregard the GRU warning. Ambassador GRU wrote a message to Washington saying, I have solid intelligence from multiple sources, one Japanese, that Japan is planning to attack Pearl Harbor, right? Is preparing to attack Pearl Harbor. And then McCullough says, oh, disregard that warning. U.S. naval intelligence holds no credence in such rumors. That's word for word. No credence in such rumors. In fact, he says that we have zero intelligence on that. You know what? That was a big, fat lie. Because if you look at the 24 messages targeting Pearl Harbor, before Pearl Harbor, we intercepted 24 messages. It would say target Pearl Harbor. 24. Not 1, not 2, 24. Naval intelligence had 9 of those messages by January 31st. You got 9 messages targeting Pearl Harbor. You know it's a target for attack. It's bullshit. 24 intercepted messages targeting Pearl Harbor. And remember what Admiral Halsey said. And I showed you his quote. Oh, but you don't remember. Shit. He said, had we known of, I think he called it the magic messages. Yeah. Magic messages. The intercepted messages. Right? Decoded messages. There is no way I would have left Pearl Harbor. All right. The day after the deadline passed. Remember this date, November 25th, November 25th, right? On that date, they knew the attack is on. They had absolute intelligence, the attack is on. They know for sure the attack is on. They sent the carriers away from Hawaii. Far away to Midway. Here's Hawaii. Well, let's see here. Here's Hawaii, right here. Right? This is the Japanese route of attack. An exact duplicate of Admiral Nagumo's attack map. Right? This is the exact route they followed. And this is the route they exited from. Now, they took this route. They didn't cut across. They wanted to intentionally avoid Midway and Wake. Why? Because these are U.S. islands where there's search planes. Search planes have a range roughly around this distance. This is 700 miles beyond search plane range. All right? So then they send the carriers, one to Midway, one to Wake Island. Way out of the way. Once they know the attack is on, it's going to hit Pearl Harbor. Oh, let's send the carriers away. Your chief defensive asset, you send away, leaving Pearl Harbor naked to attack. He said there's no way we would have left. In fact, he says there's no way Admiral Kimmel would have ordered me to go had we known those messages. Oh, but none of the messages were given to Pearl Harbor. Plus, there are classic indications of war. We know war is coming. 19 times we intercepted orders to destroy codes and code machines. 19 of them. I showed you every damn one of them. I've got all these messages organized. Grouped together. You send orders to destroy codes. You know war is on. Classic indication of war. 9 messages ordering evacuation dependence. 9. I showed you every damn one of them. Oh, me don't remember that. They're not true. There are no facts. Yeah, no facts in your idiot brains. God. Retards. That's what I'm dealing with. You order dependence out. You know that's war. Classic indication of war. This was part of the 30-day plan to set up Tonkin. Evacuate dependence. That's sending a signal. We're going to war. It's a war threat. Classic war threat. 3 key telephone codes. One code on recall, recalling the forces. One on negotiation status, and wins codes. They're making these telephone codes once they destroy their main codes. Open telephone codes. Right? The Kanoe government, civilian government, was replaced by the Tojo military government. Classic indication of war. That's part of the 30-day plan. They switched out Henry Cabot Lodge Jr. as ambassador in Vietnam for General Maxwell Taylor. Going to a war footing. Civilian Kanoe to General Tojo. Classic indication of war. Order to destroy secret documents. 8 of them. I showed you every damn one of them. We know war's coming. We intercepted all this. I read through every damn document in that book. So we know of Japan's November 25th deadline from 14 damn messages. Right? We cut off oil in July. July 25th, everyone cuts off oil. US, UK, Dutch. Japan is desperate. They got 6 months oil. So, you got August, September, October, November, December. You got to get oil before the end of January. Right? Japan's got to get oil or they're screwed. They're done. So negotiations failed. Oil reserves are falling. There's going to be war. Right? We know they're going to war. They said things are automatically going to happen. We know that's their deadline. They're going to start going to war. It takes a while to cross the ocean to get to Pearl Harbor. November 25th, they get underway. November 25th, the Southern Fleet gets underway from down here, heading to attack the Philippines. So, November 25th comes along, the deadline, we know from 14 messages. Slap you in the head 14 times, maybe you remember. November 25th, we know the attack is underway. All right? We know that from G2 Army Intelligence cited the Japanese Southern Expeditionary Fleet steaming south off the coast of Formosa, carrying 5 Army divisions. Right? They're going to invade Philippines, take the Philippines. And Admiral Turner testified that signal intelligence had recorded 2 weeks prior to November 25th super high radio traffic coming from the Northern Fleet. The Northern Fleet is a fleet that attacked Pearl Harbor. Right? So for 2 weeks, they're sitting in port with high radio traffic. Then he said on the 25th, they went total radio silent. And he said, we knew that meant the entire fleet got underway. They know that both the Northern and Southern Fleet, the whole damn Japanese fleet got underway. They know the attack is on. In accordance with their deadline. They know it. And they know the Southern Fleet's got to go get the oil. And Admiral Turner said it was a very simple proposition. The Northern Fleet's going to either attack Pearl Harbor or set up a blocking line in the Mandates. Mandate Islands here I think that's Guam there. Mandate are islands around here. Here's the Philippines down here. You can't. Let's see here. Okay, here's the Philippines. Here's the Philippines. Here's Hawaii. They're either going to attack Hawaii or we're going to set up a blocking line in the Mandates. You never do that. You get to jump. You get a surprise attack. You don't attack and then wait back and say, oh, let them attack us and we'll block them. Bullshit. No idiot would do that. You take the element of surprise. You just increase your chance of getting whacked sitting there and waiting. My ass. Plus, there's 24 messages targeting Pearl Harbor. So he says at least 50-50 chance. I'm thinking, man, with 24 messages targeting Pearl Harbor, the total idiocy of waiting for them to attack you, I mean, it's a little bit more than 50-50 chance. He said at least 50-50 chance. And he said many other officers agreed. There were other naval officers who were privy to this information. All right. So they know the attack is on. No doubt about it. Any bullshit historian says, oh, it was a surprise attack. Bullshit! Absolute proof! Shut up! That's conspiracy theory. Because me don't know that. Well, you don't know shit! Everything's conspiracy theory. And that's retard crap. You can't even define conspiracy theory in a sentence. And that defines your whole belief. How retarded is that? Alright. So once FDR knew the attack was underway, they took actions to open Pearl Harbor to attack. Right? They didn't warn Pearl Harbor. They did the opposite. Alright? So on November 25th, the second highest ranking naval officer, Admiral Ingersoll, Assistant Chief of Naval Operations, right under Admiral Stark. Offices right next door to each other. He reroutes all shipping through the Straits of Torres, east of Hawaii. Right? So I'll show you that right now. Now, all U.S. shipping, right, which is in the northern hemisphere, going to Asia follows a curved arc. On a globe, a sphere, the shortest route is not a straight line, right? It's a curved route, all right? It's a great circle route. So here's a great circle to the Philippines. Here's a great circle to China, right? Here's a great circle to Indonesia, all right? All of them are going to cross this route, the Japanese attack route, right? So here is a great circle to China. Here is a great circle to the Philippines. Here's a great circle to Singapore. Right? All of them are going to cross this route. All U.S. shipping, including traffic to Vladivostok. There's Vladivostok right there. Right? You got to go through the Japanese islands. I mean, there's high chances going to cross this. So what do? They know the attack is coming. They reroute all shipping east of Hawaii, then south to the Straits of Torres. That's way out of the way. You go any further south than this, you're going south of Australia. Then you're reaching the South Pole. Right? Clear them out of the way. East of Hawaii. Hawaii's there. The attack route came like this. Oh, it cleared the path. Then next day, Admiral Stark orders the carriers away. He ordered, Enterprise, I believe, went to Midway. And was it Saratoga or Lexington? There are two carriers. I always get mixed up. I think it was Saratoga. Went to Wake, Saratoga. Pretty sure it was Saratoga. It's either that or Lexington. I always get mixed up between the two. Well, the two carriers that were there guarding Pearl Harbor were sent away. Right? The key assets to defend Pearl Harbor are sent away. And then also on November 26th, Secretary of State Hull sends an ultimatum which is meant to slam the door shut on negotiations. Ultimatum saying, you get out, Japan, you get out of China, you get out of Indochina, you get out of every damn where. Right? And the Japanese have been telling them all along, said, listen, since trade broke down, we can't get enough food for our people. We're not like the United States. Right? I got so many damn messages where ambassadors are trying to explain we can't get out of China, right? It's starvation time. Once all the damn tariffs came up in 1930, they killed trade. Well, we don't grow enough food for our country, for our people. And then there's 5 messages. They sent 5 messages shifting focus off of Pearl Harbor. Oh, the attack's going to be way out here. Expected attack in Malaysia, Dutch East Indies. And don't forget to disregard the GRU warning. They had clear warning 11 months earlier. Oh, don't worry, don't disregard that. They never connected November 25th, right, deadline, to oil reserves running out 6 months. They knew 6. You know who knew 6 months oil? New York Times wrote a paper. I showed you the article. So, now, then on December 6th, one day before Pearl Harbor attack, FDR, this is from all the documents. Commander Schultz, right here, in the White House, hand delivers Japan's declaration of war to FDR. They intercepted it on the December 6th. FDR reads it, hands it to Harry Hopkins, his trusted advisor. Hopkins, as soon as Hopkins is done reading it, Roosevelt says to Hopkins, "This means war," and Hopkins agreed. Right? They got Japan's they know it says deliver this to Washington at noon, Washington time. That's 35 minutes after the Pearl Harbor attack started. Right? Right after the attack started, it's meant to be delivered. Right? They know the attack is on. They know the attack is going to come tomorrow. They know Japan's historical pattern of attacking right before you deliver a declaration of war. And there are multiple confessions by key leaders, Ickies, on record, saying, oh, it'll be easy. By cutting off oil, it'll get us into war. It'll make it easy to get us into this war in an effective way. Ickes then wrote in his diary on October 17th, if we go to war with Japan, we will go to war with Germany. Now, the British all along have been calling it the backdoor to the war. And there's 3 Japanese messages where they cite this. They know that this is that war with Japan, making war with Japan is our way of getting into war with Germany. And they desperately fear this. What do history books say? Oh, Japan was bloodthirsty. They're a bunch of crazed animals. They wanted war. That's the opposite of what the documents say. Who can say that? There's no evidence. There's 0 documents that say Japan say, oh, we want war. 0. 32 messages when they're desperate not to go to war. And then you got testimony from Secretary of War Stimson. That's like Secretary of Defense today, right? He said we maneuvered Japan into attack. He said we maneuvered them into attacking us to get public support for the war. And he said we knew the attack was coming and we had to let them attack. He said that. McCulloch plan is a confession. We're trying to provoke Japan to attacking us. There was a plan to get Japan to attack us. And then we do 7 of 8 of them. 7 or 8 of the action items. And then he disregards the GRU warning when they knew Japan's plan to attack Pearl Harbor from 9 messages. Oh, disregard that warning. U.S. Naval Intelligence holds no credence in such rumors. Bullshit! They have 9 messages in their hands targeting Pearl Harbor. FDR knew exactly what Japan had to do. He said so to Morgenthau. That's a Morgenthau diary. Morgenthau, Secretary of Finance, Financial Secretary. And then 10-8. What's 10-8? I can't remember now. That's the day after. That's the day after McCulloch plan. He's taking action on it. FDR did the first thing right after the McCulloch plan came out. He acted upon it. All right. So here's my conclusion. The FDR administration not only knew the attack was coming, they knew it absolutely. Absolute evidence. No doubt about it. God. 14 messages intercepted stating November 25th as a deadline. 14. Slap you in the head 14 times. Then they get actual Army intelligence. Attack is underway. Naval intelligence. Attack is underway. Now that they know it's coming, they maneuvered Japan in. How did they maneuver it? By cutting off oil. They knew every damn which way if they cut off oil, Japan's going to have to attack. Including them telling them directly. God. What? I don't remember that. I just told you that. I'll show you the freaking documents again. Go back and watch my videos on Pearl Harbor. Lying retards. Goodness sakes. They're trying to maneuver an attack here. 8 things to try to get Japan to attack us. Like the cruisers. That was one of them. Oil. They finally found that oil will get them to attack. And then they opened the door for the attack. So you think they did not know that the attack is on? They knew. Why? They took action. As soon as they knew. This is proof they knew. Rerouted the ships. Where did they reroute them? Oh, here's Japan's line of attack. Boom, boom, boom. Bam! Attack. Here's all the ships going across. Oh no, you reroute them east of Hawaii. Do the Straits of Torres. You clear them out. And then, next day, order the carriers away. You know where the carriers were patrolling? Here's Hawaii. They're patrolling northwest. They're patrolling right where the Japanese are coming. They knew this is where they're going to attack from decades. For decades, they knew if Japan attacked Hawaii, it's coming from the northeast. So that's exactly where the carriers were patrolling. So what do? Oh, you go off to Midway and you go off to Wake. Sent them away. Open the door. Then he saw a whole ultimatum. Final nail in the coffin. We're not negotiating anymore. But the Japanese still desperately, as Nagumo's coming across, Yamamoto's back in Tokyo, down here. Hand on the telephone. Ready to call Nagumo back if negotiations are successful. So we try to slam the door shut. They leave. Japan. They're about right here. Next day. Right? And we're sending them nail in the coffin. We're not negotiating anymore. Oh, but the Japanese still hoping negotiation all the way across. Yamamoto on the telephone. Waiting for a message from Washington. Then he's going to radio these guys. Hey, get your asses back here. Attack is off. They're holding out to the last minute not to attack. We're trying to shut it off. You got no choice but to attack. That's the whole ultimatum. No more negotiations. You got nothing left but to attack us. Then they shifted our focus off Hawaii. All right. So I proved that point. Now all the retards are going to say, what? There are no facts. I can't show you all again. Go back and watch my videos. If you don't watch my videos, it's your fault. I showed you every damn document. Originals of every damn document. Oh, that's conspiracy theory. No. It's idiot theory. It's retard theory. It's moron theory. It's zombie brainless theory. Talking to a white wall. A blank white wall. What? You don't say that. Me no remember.